time to watch some TV, get comfortable on your couch, grab a snack or a drink, and let's see what decisions people are making today.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Oh, he's such a cutie.
You'll need to state your names for the record. And Mr. Thigpen, I can barely hear you. You're away from the mic, so you need to be a little closer to your mic. Miss Bernard, would you please state your name for the record?
Sierra Bernard.
Pardon me?
Sierra Bernard.
Okay. Mr. Thigpen?
Xavier James Thigpen.
Thank you, sir. And if the attorney would please state her name, who she represents.
Victoria Lee, present for the Office of the Attorney General.
Okay, Ms. Lee, why are we here?
Judge, we're here today on the state's suit affecting the parent-child relationship. This is the fourth setting in the case. At the last setting, Mr. Thigpen had requested a DNA test. The state is requesting the court to order Mr. Thigpen to appear in person at the next live docket to submit to court-supervised paternity testing. Mr. Thigpen currently resides out of state. However, under long arm, we are requesting that he appear in person. Ms. Bernard has reviewed the photo presented at the testing appointment and confirmed that it does not match Mr. Thigpen's appearance. Furthermore, the phone number and signature used at the testing appointment do not match the contact details and the signature of Mr. Thigpen. Due to this, we are concerned about the validity of the test and requesting that the test occur under court supervision.
Okay. All right. Would you like to call either party as a witness?
Yes, please, if I could call Ms. Bernard.
Yes.
Ms. Bernard, can you please state your full name for the record?
Sierra Nicole Bernard.
Okay, and what is the name of the child and the child's date of birth?
Zion Nicholas Thigpen, 5920.
Okay.
Look how lifeless she looks. How she looks and how she's acting right now. My dog is in the background grooming himself. So if you hear noise, I'm sorry, it's him.
And do you recall at the time of the child's birth when an acknowledgement of paternity was signed for this child?
Yes, he was born on May 9th. So it was either that Sunday, May 10th, or that Monday, May 11th.
Okay, and who signed this acknowledgement of paternity as the father?
Xavier Thigpen.
Okay, and were you shown a photo that was taken at the DNA testing appointment?
Yes.
Okay, and
I don't think I'll be very popular by saying this, but it is the true feelings that I have. And as you know, this is all opinions. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not telling people to think like me. It's just me watching TV on my couch in my house with my pit bull, watching TV and watching this and just giving my own opinions as if I'm home, but sitting here watching with my husband or the children or my family members. We all got opinions. We just talking through the screen, and I'm keeping it raw even while I'm talking to you guys. We're watching it together. Personally, and I have nothing but sons, no daughters, but personally, I believe that every man should get a DNA test before they sign anything. I'm sorry. I mean, I get it. You know, you think is your child, but what about if you think it's not your child? You are legally that child's father because you signed on that line. Don't sign nothing. You can still be a part of that pregnancy. You can be there when the child is born. You can assist the child as it grows until you get that paternity test. And there's too many situations like this. Why are we even talking paternity if you sign that line? You chose to be that child's father when you signed. But a lot of times men don't even know that. They don't even know that by signing it, you become the legal father. Even if you're not the biological father, you're the legal father. Anyone can sign for the child, even if you never had sex with that woman. I just met you 2 minutes ago. I'm going to sign for your child. Well, guess what? You just became the legal father. Regardless of who the father is by blood, you became the legal father. So don't do it. I get it. You trust her. But how many times have men been burnt because they trusted? Get a blood test. And I do believe you can get a blood test in the hospital when the baby's born. Not only that, but they've gotten so sophisticated, they can do it while the baby's not even born yet. They can do paternity tests while she's still pregnant. If there's anything in your mind making you think, I'm not sure if I'm this child's father, but I'm going to hang in there, don't you sign nothing. You go ahead and hang in there and support your girlfriend. I'm guessing that's your girlfriend, because unless you're married, you're not presumed the father. She might say that, but as far as law is concerned, and then they be hitting you in your pockets and hitting you hard. I have seen so many situations in my real life. I know so many men that have paid for children that do not belong to them. They learn later through a blood test that the child wasn't even theirs. But legally, you got to keep doing it. On. It's ugly when that's your brother that happens to, or your cousin, or your friend, some family member, some friend, some associate. It hits home where it's just like, man, how dare she? She knew who was in between her legs. You might not have known who was in between her legs, but she knew who was in between her legs. And maybe she did not know exactly who her child's father was, but she definitely knew that there was a chance it could have been someone else's. So don't sit there and pin it on one guy as if you know for a fact it's his child. I've even seen situations, it's nasty. I've even seen situations where a female said that a child belonged to this particular guy, and he said, it's not my baby. But he was really just trying to escape responsibility. And so she took the baby to his grandmother. He was raised by his grandparents instead of his parents. And so she took as soon as grandma saw that baby, she said, this is my great grandchild. She picked that boy up and said, this is him. This is my great grandbaby here. And she showed pictures of her grandson when he was a kid. I was there. She showed pictures of her grandson when he was a child, looked just like the baby. And then his best friend, the one that's saying that ain't my baby, his best friend said, man, you're going to jail if you take her to court over this baby. And then not only that, he bust out laughing because he takes the baby and he takes, people take stuff off, see what the fingers look like, see what the toes look like, all that type of stuff, trying to see if it's your baby because, people always trying to weasel out of it, right? He takes the baby, take off the shirt or the onesie or whatever to pull the arm out on the left arm and bust out laughing. And we laughing. No, he's laughing. I'm sorry. And we start laughing too because of how hard he's laughing. And we're like, what's so funny? He said, they're going to throw you under the jail. And they were like, where's your birthmark? That's what he said. He's laughing. He's like, where's your birthmark? He said, it's on my arm. He said, yeah, which arm? Because his best friend knows. And come to find out, the baby had a birthmark in the exact same place as that man. The grandma said the baby looked just like him. Everybody that see the baby think he looked just like him. His best friend is saying, dude, that's your baby. Blood test comes along. Guess what? It's not his baby. Everybody was wrong. Grandma was wrong. Best friend wrong. Baby mama wrong. Family members wrong. But DNA was right. DNA was right. And that baby daddy was right. Because he ain't the baby daddy. He's a free man. And he never signed the birth certificate, in the hospital. He never signed for the child because he kept saying it wasn't my child. He was really trying to just weasel his way out. He had sex with the girl. He was weaseling his way out of it, but he was actually smart because it worked out for his good because the baby's not his. Now, the baby's a grown man today. He's not a baby any longer. But they've done another blood test and come to find out this is the child's actual father. But that just goes to show 1 in 5 people, I think they say look alike or something along those lines. You got to look it up yourself, Google it. But there's many people who look like other people and they're not related to each other at all. So you can't go by looks alone. What does the DNA say? And if you're not willing to get the DNA test, you could be getting burnt. So, I went on that long tangent and started talking about some other stuff. But all I'm saying is that if you're not married, do not sign a birth certificate. It's, it might not be your baby. It might be your baby. It might not be your baby. It's not worth paying all your hard-earned money for a kid that don't belong to you for 18 years. It is not worth it. Get the blood test before you sign anything. It might keep you from signing.
Was this a photo of Mr. Thigpen?
No, it was not.
Okay. And are you requesting a second test due to the concern that the test results were not of Mr. Thigpen?
Yes, along with some other things I would like to request as well, but that, yes.
Okay, and what additional measures are you requesting?
It's just a safety concern at this point. We're dealing with someone who is well known in the area, and if you work in the sheriff's department and you send someone else to go and take your DNA test, I have no clue what you're capable of, and that is very alarming for me.
Okay, and for those reasons, are you requesting for the DNA test to take place in person at the Matagorda courthouse?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I pass this witness.
Ma'am, as you recall, there was a lot of issues at the last hearing where Mr. Thigpen was saying he signed the AOP, but now he's questioning paternity. And I had the discretion at that time of either granting or allowing him to take do a DNA test or holding him to the AOP. Now, for purposes of eliminating any future issues of paternity, I went ahead and ordered that Mr. Thigpen be allowed to take the DNA test. Okay? So
Yes.
we went ahead and gave another bite at the apple and said, all right, we're going to make sure about whether or not you are the father or not. Okay, I understand. So at the time, I believe questions were asked of you as to whether or not there was any possibility, and I'm going to ask you again, at the time you got pregnant, were you with any other man during that time, a month after that time, or a month prior to that time?
No, sir.
Not, you know what I mean, sexual.
Yeah.
And these are kind of embarrassing questions. So I'm just asking you, is there, in your opinion, is there any possibility that anyone else?
Does every judge ask that question? I think it's a wonderful question. I believe it needs, I don't care if it is embarrassing. You've put yourself in this situation. You chose not to do it the right way. And when I say right, some of y'all might disagree with me, but I don't care. Marry before you carry. And then you might not have to worry about things like this. She chose not to do it. These are some of the consequences, consequential TV, that you may have to go through. And so him asking, have you been with any other man? You should ask that question. And then also add to, were you with any man a month before the conception? Were you with any other man a month after the conception? You know, like just in case you try to like finagle your way out. I mean, there's been too many cases of people doing the wrong thing. That's why this must be asked. But I'm glad that he asked that question. And my question is, do they always ask this? This is my first time ever like hearing it. This is good. And he did excuse himself by saying, I know this is embarrassing, but at the same time, it must be asked. I like that. You should ask. And if she says no, she's been with no other man, and if it comes out that the child does not belong to this man, I believe there should be consequences for it. And when I say consequences, I'm talking fees and jail time to get females to a place to stop playing around with people's lives. You not only playing around with the life of your child, because the child ought to know who their father is and their mother. You're playing with the life of the man who might have to feel the emotions of thinking they could be a father and they're not. Some of those emotions are negative. Like they feel like their life is over. My finances is messed up. How am I going to afford this? I don't think you should have to go through all that because someone's pinning a baby on you. It's one thing to say you could be the father. It's another thing to say you are the father. So you're causing undue stress on a man. And I believe all this is the females, all on her. And I am female. I don't do girl power. I go for what is right. And if the female's right, the female's right. If the male is right, the male is right. But I don't make a decision between the two. We all human beings. Why does one have to be better than the other? This is not a competition. Right is right and wrong is wrong. That's it. This is black and white. It's on the female because only she knows who's been in between her legs. Everybody else, you assume, you think, but she knows. Unless she had some form of rape while she was unconscious, she knows who she gave her booty up to. And so, with that being said, it's on her. It's on her. My mother-in-law disagrees with me. She was like, Crystal, it takes two people to tangle. I said, yeah, but it only takes one person to get pregnant. Because I don't care how much sex you have with a person. If you take birth control, I ain't even talking about condoms that can slip, bust, or anything else like that. If you get on some good birth control, you be all right. And you can do birth control before sex, during sex, and after sex. So I believe that pregnancy can be avoided. If you don't want a baby, you don't have to have a baby. You went all the way. You went all the way. You played dodgeball and didn't duck. So
Could be the biological father of this child.
No, sir.
Okay, so you're absolutely certain it can only be
only
Xavier
him.
Thigpen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, okay.
He sounds so
All right,
downtrodden.
I understand.
feel bad
Okay.
for him.
And so you were frustrated last time, but agreed to, okay, let's get the DNA test, because I explained to you that if this was a stall tactic, then it doesn't matter because we can go way back on this child support issue. You understand that, right?
Sir.
Okay. So it was kind of like no harm, no foul. Let's get it cleared up, right?
Good.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, were you surprised when this current DNA test result came back and said he was not the father?
Well, I didn't know that it didn't say that until after she showed me the picture. Because she said the reason that she showed me the picture was because it didn't come back positive. And I said that that's not him. And so, like I said, I was very surprised that he would do that. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised given his status and things to that nature.
Okay. So and I want to make sure I have your testimony correct. You're stating that when you saw the picture, you're talking about the picture of the person that showed up and took the
Person.
DNA test.
Yes.
That picture was taken by the people that were doing the testing, and
Yes.
that picture was supposed to be a picture of Xavier Thigpen.
I feel bad for her, you know, and I don't know. She could be putting on a show right now. She could be acting. Sorry, my dog is here, and he's determined to take. Jesus, Shakir, stop! Stop it!
Scooch in right here if you don't mind.
You're too big for that. You're not a little lap dog. Oh my God. Goodness. Oh my God. Shakir, you can't be here. Shakir, you can't. You're not even comfortable laying like that. You got to stop acting like this. You're being a bully. Here. Golly. I'm his favorite person. I don't know if I should be happy or unhappy about this because he just pushes himself around and pushes me around, I should say, and just pushes himself on me however he wants to. And yes, he is a pit bull. Almost knocked all this stuff down, determined to lay across my lap. He's not a lap dog. But I forgot what I was about to say because of this dog. Shakir, what's going on, man, huh? Did you want to say hi?
Say, I need to say hi like everybody else says hi. Oh, yeah, there he is. There's your Stankums. There's my Stankums. Oh, he's tired.
Say, you hold me. I'm tired. I should get on your nerves. Just like how you pushed your weight on me. I should get on your nerves right now and make you want to walk away. Just make you want to walk away. How's that sound?
Look at my stinkles. Ah, he's my baby. Oh, he's my baby. He's my 5-year-old baby. Oh, he's a baby.
Okay. And did that do the trick? And my buddy. I don't know what I was about to say. So let me just go ahead and press play. No idea what I was about to do. Oh, her sadness. I don't know if whether or not she was making this up or if she's truly upset. Because, I mean, let's be honest, sometimes we know how to put on a show as females. You know how to like manipulate. But she is crying, and the way she sounds, she seems so downtrodden. She seems so defeated. But I will say this: let Auntie hook you up with some game, ladies. Marry before you carry. Don't let yourself have to go through this. Don't put this extra stress in your own life. Do the right thing for the right reason. There used to be a movie back in the day, I think by Spike Lee, that says "Do the right thing." You need to do the right thing. And it's not the right thing to have children before you're married. That's not the right thing. Even though it's happening, it doesn't make it right. Marry before you have babies. And do not get married because you're pregnant. You're out of order. We used to sing nursery rhymes back in the day that says, first come the marriage, then comes the baby. Then comes the baby with the baby carriage. You know what I'm saying? Like there's an order to this thing. And so here she is in this situation where this dude is, in her opinion, is ducking and dodging the paternity of her child. That's her child. And I wouldn't doubt if she loves her child and she wants what's best for that child. And that child deserves to know who her father is. And that man should help her take care of that child. And if he is, sending someone else in there to do the blood test to trick her into saying that I'm not the baby and you lying, that's not right. And she could feel like she's back up in a corner because I think she said he works for law enforcement to a certain degree or something along those lines. And if that be the case, he might have some pull or something along those lines to be able to get away with doing something underhandedly. So I'm sorry that she's in this position, but at the same time, we must take accountability for our decisions. We are our decisions. Your life is this way because of who you have decided to lay with, because you didn't protect yourself. Even if it is recreational. I don't agree with recreational booty, but at the same time, I know people doing it. Your recreational better be wife worthy. Your recreational better be husband worthy. So that if the crap hits the fan, you still good. This person got the right head on their shoulders. They'll be a good father. We might not be married, but they can be a good father to the child. It can be a good mother to the child. But we don't do that. We go out here and just have sex for any old thing. And then if the person ends up getting pregnant or something like that, then you're like, oh. And people are like, that's your baby mama. That's your baby daddy. Oh, my God. You shouldn't have even had, that's not even recreational use there. Because too many times do you end up sleeping with a booger wolf and then the booger wolf becomes your child's mother. Oh my gosh, I'm done. Let me get out of this.
Correct?
If that picture was shown right now and it was put to his face when he shows his face in this camera, everyone on this court will be able to see that is not him.
Okay.
That's not
so
good.
You're stating that
it's not right. Don't do her wrong.
It's his brother. It's his older brother.
Okay. So is it your testimony that you believe he had his older brother go and take that test?
Based on that picture, yes, sir. I would hope he would not do that, but being shown that picture, and I know I had to take a photo as well.
Right.
Given the same situation, he had his brother to go and take the test, and I was telling
that's not good, yo. That's not good. That's not, look, the little bit that I was able to see of his face in the upper right-hand corner, Xavier, that don't look like the same guy. And that's not right. And she could be crying because you playing in my face. Not so much because of anything else, but like, don't disrespect me in this manner. Guess he didn't think that this was going to catch up with him. And he should get in trouble for that. If he really did do that, if this comes out to be true, that he has lied about getting the paternity test and sent someone else in instead, he should go to jail just for that. I think so.
Young lady also that if he went and took the test, how do I know that it was his brother that got swabbed or however they did the DNA testing? It just makes you wonder what else occurred that we don't know about.
Well, ma'am, let me say this. If the whole idea of taking the picture is to confirm that the man that took the test is the man in the picture, and when you saw the picture, you're saying that's not Xavier Thigpen.
Yes,
Right.
sir. But what I'm also saying is that this is a local town where they are, like I said, very well-known people. And it took us forever for him to get served. And I'm not saying that he was avoiding it, but you work at the sheriff's office. It took us
Right.
forever for him.
Yeah, he's in law enforcement. So they know how to weasel it. And I've seen situations like that in my real life as well with other people that I know that, had some form of another paternity issue or some type of domestic issue. And because the man worked in law enforcement, he was able to get away with a lot of things he should not have been able to get away with.
Him to be served.
Okay.
I don't know if you were avoiding it. You were aware that I was doing this because I text you multiple times about it. And it's just, I don't know.
No, I understand, ma'am. So when you say local town stuff, he's well known, you're talking about where he's located now.
Yes.
And what local town is that now?
Anywhere in the city of in the county of Jones County, Laurel, Hebron, anywhere in that area, that is where he's from. And
What
he
state
went to
is that?
college in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
And he went to college up the road at Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So
Okay. All right. So you're questioning the validity of the test.
yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I don't have any other questions. So what you're asking is for a test that you can confirm that Mr. Thigpen does actually submit to. That you're asking for what you believe you need a valid test.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it was him, the one that's saying that he has the belief that he's not the father. So if you believe that, why would you not go and give a valid test?
Right. I got you. Okay.
That wasn't my request. I know who the father is.
Right.
All I'm asking was for assistance, and he's the one that's, doing all these extra things to where we have to prolong everything. If you don't want to take care of your child, then just say that, and I'll just dead all of this, and I won't even worry about it because it's getting to the point where it's a headache.
Okay, Ms. Bernard. Thank you. All right. Ms. Lee, do you have any
you're going
questions for
through
Ms. Bernard?
No, Your Honor, no further questions for this witness.
Okay, Mr. Thigpen, can you hear me okay?
You don't always see this side of, having children out of wedlock. They usually try to make it seem, glamorous and, your baby daddy, my baby mama, and make it seem like something you would want to go after. But she's not the only one going through things like this. There's another side to having children out of wedlock, and it's not pretty. And that's not the side they want to show people. They want to show them the side of, yeah, we're doing a gender reveal. We so in love, until you're not. And then you don't know how to separate your business, and doing things the right way from your feelings.
I think you got it on mute. Yeah, you got to unmute yourself. There you go.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Do you, since you're representing yourself at this point, Mr. Thigpen, I need to make sure I give you the opportunity. Do you have any questions for Ms. Bernard at this point?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'm going to give you your opportunity to speak, Mr. Thigpen. Do not worry. I've got to follow the procedure. And normally, if you had a lawyer in this procedure, your lawyer would be able to question Ms. Bernard. And that's why I asked you if you had any questions for Ms. Bernard. So your answer is no, you don't have any questions at this point.
Correct. And as I told in the last session, I do have a lawyer, and that's the one who advised me DNA test need to be on file. So
I want to give you your chance. I mean, you're sitting here telling me I'm not the father. I want to test, and I'm agreeing that you should get tested. All right? Do you understand that?
yes, sir.
Okay. But I've got the mother, Miss Bernard, saying that that's not him in the picture. So that makes her lend to believe, as the court, that someone other than you took the test, because that's the picture that's attached. So I get it when you admit, I'm glad you did. You were honest. You're law enforcement. You're not going to lie under oath. So I
Integrity.
appreciate that you under oath said, I win. I was there. They took the picture. This picture is not me. They've got the wrong picture. Okay, I get it. I understand. So you understand we're just trying to get to the right, correct result. You understand that, Mr. Thickpen?
Yes, sir. Correct.
All
I
right.
understand. That's why I said,
Okay.
like, I know the court.
So what you're trying to say that you and your brother got paternity issues? He was there for something totally different. They took the wrong picture. That one's not me, and he's agreeing that's not him. So what is his brother doing there? Is he also trying to find out if he's the father of a child? And then not only that, but he's holding a paper with a number on it. Shouldn't the number on that paper correspond with the number that's on the child? Shouldn't they match? Regardless if you make a mistake with the photo, what about that number? And shouldn't that number be also on the swab or whatever that you did in order to get the DNA testing? Like something ain't adding up. And why he act like he got so much going on sitting like this entire time? Like he got so much going on. You ain't got nothing to go. Pay attention. This is your life. That's right, Shakira. We need to send you in. We need to send Shakira in.
Okay. Do you, since you're representing yourself at this point, Mr. Thickpen, I need to make sure I give you the opportunity. Do you have any questions for Miss Bernard at this point?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'm going to give you your opportunity to speak, Mr. Thickpen. Do not worry. I've got to follow the procedure. And normally, if you had a lawyer in this procedure, your lawyer would be able to question Miss Bernard. And that's why I asked you if you had any questions for Miss Bernard. So your answer
Yeah,
is no, you don't have any questions at this point.
correct. And as I told in the last session, I do have a lawyer, and that's the one who advised me DNA test need to be on file. So
I want to give you your chance. I mean, you're sitting here telling me I'm not the father. I want to test, and I'm agreeing that you should get tested. All right? Do you understand that?
yes, sir.
Okay. But I've got the mother, Miss Bernard, saying that that's not him in the picture. So that makes her to lend to believe, as the court, that someone other than you took the test because that's the picture that's attached. So I get it when you admit, I'm glad you did. You were honest. You're law enforcement. You're not going to lie under oath. So I
Integrity.
appreciate that you under oath said, I win. I was there. They took the picture. This picture is not me. They've got the wrong picture. Okay, I get it. I understand. So you understand we're just trying to get to the right, correct result. You understand that, Mr. Thickpen?
Yes, sir. Correct.
All
I
right.
understand. That's why I said,
Okay.
like, I know the court had power to subpoena the video footage from the time I went in there. I went in there at 10 o'clock. I was a little late, probably like 10:17. Like I went in there with just my ID, mask, just like the instructions said. So, like as far as trying to throw my name up because I worked hard for who I am and what I am and what I've gotten in life, that's that's crazy.
Okay. Here's the problem, Mr. Thickpen.
That's crazy.
The,
Yes,
the,
sir.
the problem you face right now is jurisdiction of this case is here in Matagorda County. Okay? Jurisdiction's here. This is where the child is. Okay? This is where
She's upset. Look how she looking. Look at the professionals on the screen. Look at the judge. Is he sitting around with his hand on his face like that at any point in time? I'm gonna pay attention. What about the court coordinator? Look at Victoria, the black and white Agasia looking person. Like you in court, Sierra. I get it. You need to learn. People need to learn how to harness their emotions. I'm not saying you can't have emotions, but there's a time and place for everything, man. And right now, it's your word against his. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. I'm with you there. I'm with you, Sierra. It sucks. But I'm also with Xavier. It sucks because he's saying that he did do it. And he doesn't like the fact that he's being blamed for something he didn't do. So now, who do you believe? Unfortunately, in this world, people tell lies. Very unfortunate. And who can know that desperately wicked heart of man but God? So it is what it is. But we put ourselves, a lot of the stresses that we have in our lives, we do them to ourselves. Because at no point in time should you have had a baby with this man that is not your husband. We got to do better. And I get it. It already happened. But what about all those who have not made these bad decisions yet? You need to continue to not make a bad decision because you're going to have to reap the consequences of your decisions. We are our decisions.
Where the AOP was done, this is where the mother lives with the child. This is where the child was born. So jurisdiction is here. Do you understand that?
I understand, but Judge, by you even saying that, I didn't sign no paperwork in Matagora. The paperwork I signed was in Harris, and that was the birth certificate.
Okay. All right. So definitely jurisdiction. What I'm getting at is not.
Well, if you sign that birth certificate as Xavier, you are the father. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You are the father. Even if you're not the biological father, sir, you are the father. You are the finance ministry. You are the father. You are the legal father of this little boy. Now, you work in law enforcement and you don't know you're not supposed to sign nothing. Why are you going through all this like pushing away? She already believes you're the father. Like she said, she did not ask for this blood test. You did. And why would you ask for a blood test to a baby that you already signed for? Clearly, you thought it was your baby. What changed? Again, do not sign things until you get a blood test. First comes blood test, then comes signing.
In
You know BS? BS means like bull crap or, you curse. I'm not going to say those words. Yeah, blood test, sign. BS. That's the order.
Mississippi.
Okay.
Correct. So
right,
like
it's not in
bringing up
Jones
who
County.
I am is irrelevant. Right.
Right. It's not in Jones County. That happens to be where you live and where you work at this time. I get it. Okay. All right. So I'm asking you, is there anything else you want to tell the court at this time before I make a ruling on this case?
Just a comment, since like normal court proceeding, when your name get brought up, somebody's testimony, you have the right to clear things up. Or she brought something up about dropping the whole thing. You don't have to drop the whole thing, because in 2021 you told me to leave you and the child alone, and I've done that. And since then, now this is a brain like come about. So like it's befuddling, but I tell you. But I understand. I definitely understand.
Okay. All right. All right.
I don't know whether or not she said that, if she really said, leave me and the child alone. But I do find that a lot of women behave this way. And unfortunately, I see it a lot in the Black community. And shame on Black women. Shame on you in making selfish decisions that affect your children. Because while it might help you for him to leave you guys alone, because now you don't have to worry about the stress that he causes in your life, you just cause him, the child, to have an absentee father. How is that blessing your child? It's a curse not to have a father. And you just took his father from him pretty much. Why? So that you can live life good? So that you can be comfortable in your sins? That's not right. We should not behave that way. And a lot of times I also see when women talk about their children, they'll say, my child. If that's the father, how is it your child? It's your child. You should be saying our child. Be careful with your verbiage. Our child is what you should be saying every time you have to bring up something like that. But I hear my son, my daughter, my child, my. It takes two people to make that baby, right? You didn't make the baby on your own. And if you really feel like the child is all yours, then leave him completely alone. Leave his money alone. Leave alone the fact of having any form of visitation. Don't call him. Don't even talk about him bad behind his back. Talking about he don't do nothing for his child. Don't you have something to do with that? If he don't have nothing to do with his child, don't you have something to do with that? Has your behavior made it so that he don't want to come around? Even the Bible says that a man would rather hide in the corner of the rooftop than to be under the roof with a nagging woman. The Bible teaches you that. So you can't sit here and say it's the worst thing ever. No, it's people trying to avoid catching a case. People trying to avoid all that extra stress. But in the process of doing it, who are you hurting for real? The child is losing. The child is a loser because of the parents. Not the kind of loser that we talk about. I'm talking about they lost whatever is supposed to come along with having both parents. If the mother's absent, they lose that. If the father's absent, they lose that. It's not a blessing. It's not. Now, I personally am a child that did not grow up with a father. Not because my father was a deadbeat, but because my father was literally dead. He passed away of a heart attack at a young age. And it did not bless me. Yes, I was born in a marriage. None of my sisters and brothers are out of wedlock. My mother and father did it the right way, and he still dropped dead of a heart attack. That didn't bless us. We should have had a father. And unfortunately, the father was not there. I get it. He couldn't help it. But all those who are alive and well, and you have children, how dare you not be in your child's life? And women, how dare you block them from being in their children's lives? Let the child go live with their father. If you can't handle it, let the child live with their father then. You know? Do every other year or something like that. And make it so that this year you live with me, next year you live with your father. And do it back and forth like that. I get it. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas. But don't try to make it seem as though it's best for the child that the father gets out of your lives. That's not true. It's what's best for you because you don't want to put on your big girl panties and handle it due to the fact that you've made the bad decision as to who you spread your legs to. We have got to hold each other accountable, ladies. I know we try to do these girl power things and stuff like that. No, we need to hold each other accountable. We're moving reckless out here. And I say we because we're women. Because it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I don't have illegitimate children.
Okay. Ms. Lee, do you have any other witnesses to call?
No, Your Honor, no other witnesses.
Okay. Ms. Bernard, since you represent yourself, do you have any questions for Mr. Thigpen?
I'm sorry, Sierra. I hope you make better decisions.
No, not at the moment.
Okay, you've heard my questions for Mr. Thigpen,
more illegitimate children.
Yes.
And you've heard Mr. Thigpen swear under oath that he did appear and he did take the picture and he did submit to the test. You heard him say that, right?
Yes.
And you've heard Mr. Thigpen acknowledge that that is not him in the photo and that somehow the test result is flawed because they attached the wrong photo to the test result, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to tell the court at this time?
I just feel like this has been a really long, drawn out case. And for him to be the person to request for the DNA testing, and then we have to now receive this type of information, it's just, I don't understand why we're having to continue to prolong it. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes,
I just
here's the problem, Ms. Bernard. I'll explain it to you.
You know what, Sierra? What you need to do is have a perception change. I get it. It sucks. I totally get what you're saying. But you have to change your perception. And even though it sucks, say, I'm doing what is best for my child. When it's all said and done, I'm going to sleep at night. I'm going to stand before God and I'm going to say that I did everything I was supposed to do, God, after I made my bad decision. I then got on the right track and I did what I had to do so that my child can know who their father is. Even though it's an inconvenience to me, even though I can stand straight up and say, I did everything I could do. Now, whatever's on him is on him. You leave that alone. Don't add more stress in your life. But just change your perception or something to make it feel for as if though, make yourself feel and believe. Make yourself believe that you did everything you could. So just go ahead and do it. Submit to a new test. Be there in person. I get it. It sucks. It's too many times. But you're doing it for the well-being of your child. He can never come back to you again and say, that ain't my baby. If you guys go through with it and it shows that it's his child. I get it. You shouldn't have to do all that. I get it. But we live in a flawed world, a flawed society. And people make mistakes. And if he's telling the truth, that means someone made a mistake and put the wrong picture on there. His brother must be going through the same thing too. Which goes to show that they're not making wise decisions in life as to who they laying down with. Because you're in paternity court over and over again. It's ridiculous. But the perception change will help you. It'll help you be at ease within yourself. Look, I'm doing what I can do. It's all I can do. This is all I can do, and I'm gonna do it. Instead of complaining, because complaining don't get you. You still gotta go through it. So why go through and then have to complain and be upset? It's better to just go ahead and go through with joy, with happiness. All because of the way you see it. It's perception. Change the perception for you, not for him, but for you.
First of all, I have patience. Do not lose your patience with this case.
Judge is
We're
nice.
going to get to the right result. Hang in there, and Mr. Thigpen hangs in there. But I've got a simple, very critical issue. The simple, very critical issue is I have you swearing absolutely there's no way anyone else could be the father except Xavier Thigpen. I have Mr. Thigpen swearing that he appeared for this test, and he showed up and he took the test, and he's swearing that that result should be right because he did take the test and he showed up, and he can't explain why his picture is not attached to the test. But it does make it look like if that's the person who they drew the test from, then the wrong person's results have been sent to us. Maybe that's a whole different person, a whole different test, and they've got it mixed up. So that tells me the whole thing's flawed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, do you understand? So here's what we're going to do. Are you ready for my ruling, Miss Bernard? Do you have anything else you want to tell me at this time?
I just want to know. So, there was an issue maybe like over the summer where I asked him, since you don't want to help out with anything, could I just get Zion's last name changed? And he told me no, because obviously I can't do it on my own because he signed the birth certificate and all the paperwork. And so I just said, since you don't want to be a part of his life, can you just sign the document so they could get his name changed? If he felt so strongly that he's not the child, why didn't he let me change his last name?
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. First of all,
Judge,
that's
I even brought that up in the last session, Judge, if you remember that.
Hold on, Mr. Thigpen. I understand you want to say something, but let me help out here. Ms.
Wait your
Bernard,
turn.
we're not going to go there right now. Okay, just like I'm not going to go there when Mr. Thigpen wanted to raise the issue about, well, why did she tell me a long time ago not to be in his life? Now, I'm not saying what he's saying is true. I'm not saying what you're saying is true. I'm saying y'all have both gone off into the weeds on this. The only issue before this court right now is whether or not I'm going to rule at this time that Mr. Thigpen is the father, okay? Because I do have an AOP, and I could have ruled that way the last time. But when he brought up the request for the testing, we granted it. And now we come back with flawed results, okay? And someone else's picture. So I'm ready to rule. Here we go. This is my ruling. I do find I have jurisdiction in this case. And I have admitted State's Exhibit 1, which is showing a negative test result, but the picture of someone other than Mr. Thigpen as the person that took the test. So therefore, if I'm going to rely on that DNA test, it has to be reliable. And it's not, because there's questions still about whether or not a proper DNA test was done, or whether or not there was some type of a mix-up by the DNA test people, or whether or not some type of fraud was being committed. Okay? I don't know. So I know how I'm going to fix that. I'm going to order this case. I'm going to have this case reset for a date in person in Matagorda
Falling
County.
apart.
And
She looked like she's falling apart. She's hanging on by a thread over here. It's not good, man. It's not good. I don't like her body language.
at that reset date, I'm ordering the parties to both come and submit at that point in time in court to an in-person date to submit to DNA testing here in Matagorda County, where the court can supervise the paternity testing. So I'm ordering both parties to come to court on a specific date, submit to paternity testing here in Matagorda County. And that way, we're going to eliminate any funny business, any confusion. The court's going to supervise this testing and make sure that the testing is done here. where that way we see Mr. Thigpen.
That sounds like a good idea to me. What you guys think? Do you guys think that that's the best way to do it? She's trying to say that he's got pulled because he's in law enforcement. And if they go to a different county or something like that where there's no jurisdiction for him, he'll have a pull in this other area. Take it completely out of the way. And then not only that, but she can be there. She'll know that's him, not the brother. Like no more funny business. That sounds good. I get you've already gone through this before, and hopefully it's not out of her pockets. She won't be financially responsible for this. I mean, to a degree, it's going to affect her finances because you're going to need your gas in order to drive there. Excuse me. You're going to have to drive there. I don't know whether or not you have to leave work in order to do so. I don't know. But I do know that there's going to be some form of pull on your finances to have this done. But hopefully you won't have to pay for the testing. But I think this is this judge seems like a really nice guy. I think so.
And shows up. Mr. Thigpen gets tested. And there's not going to be any mix up because he's going to be the person that's going to be get the picture taken up, and it'll be his DNA that'll be taken, as well as yours again, Ms. Bernard. We're going to have a brand new test done here at Matagorda County. So, Ms. Lee, do you have a potential court date for me? You need to give Mr. Thigpen some time to get here because he's going to have to make arrangements to come down here for a hearing.
Yes, Judge, our next live docket is July 1st at 9 a.m.
Okay. July 1st.
July 1st is a Zoom docket.
Oh.
Yeah, we need an in-person
It
docket.
would be July 8th.
Can you do July 8th, Ms. Lee?
Yes, Judge, I can revise that right now. Thank you.
Okay, July 8th is an in-person docket?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're going to get this resolved. We're going to do testing right here in Matagorda County, 9:00 a.m. on July the 8th, 2025. Both parties are ordered to appear to submit to DNA testing. And that way it'll be court supervised for this paternity testing. I'm ordering both parties to submit to it. And this way we're going to clear this up once and for all. Okay? Do you understand, Ms. Bernard?
Yes.
Please do not lose patience.
I've already lost it. I'm sorry.
I understand. I understand how you feel. I'm just telling you, this is the only way I know to do this. I've got to get.
I just saw the judge hand on his head. He did this.
A reliable DNA test result. The one we have now is not reliable, even by the admission of Mr. Thigpen.
He's trying his best to be kind and neutral to both parties. I can appreciate that, Judge. I think you're doing a wonderful job.
He said, that's not my picture. So I don't know if the results are not even the correct results. Maybe they're for that guy in that picture. I don't know. So we're going to do testing here in Matagorda County, Texas at 9:00 a.m. on July 8th. And so y'all are ordered to appear here in the courthouse, Matagorda County, to submit, and we'll have the testing people here. Is that correct, Ms. Lee?
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
They said they will have people here to do the testing, and that way we can get the testing done in a system that it will be reliable, that we can all count upon. Now, what that does is that forces you, Ms. Bernard, to have to come to court that day and be here for the testing, and that forces you, Mr. Thigpen, to have to be here that day and submit to the testing. Okay? But I look at it this way. This is going to say one way or the other. Because if it comes back positive, then Mr. Thigpen's the father, and we deal with it. And if it comes back negative, I will say, Ms. Bernard, we've done it where we've gone through the system right here in the courthouse, supervised by the court in Matagorda County. You understand, Ms. Bernard?
Yeah, so I have to bring my son back to the institute, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You need the child.
Fortunately, it's in the summertime. School's out. I know you're.
Yeah, but you can't keep explaining to a 5-year-old that You have to go get tested. You got to pull him out of school, and he's asking, "Mommy, I'm not sick. Why am I going to the doctor in front of everybody? That's embarrassing."
Okay,
Well, he just fixed that. He said he's going to do it over the summer. So school is going to be out, unless you're talking about like summer camp or something like that. School is going to be out. Also, you don't have to tell your child all the details. You can say, the child can say, well, mommy, why do we have to go ahead? Say, because we're doing something for the family. So mommy's going to do it, daddy's going to do it, and you're going to do it. We're doing something for the family to learn our DNA. That's exactly what you're doing. You're learning the DNA. But you don't have to say to see whether or not he's your father. Like fix it however you got to fix it, but it needs to be done. Put on your big girl drawers. I get it. It don't feel good. Do you guys understand? Like this younger generation, man, do you guys realize how much has been invested for you to be in this entitled place that you're in? Do you know anything about those parents back in the day that will work multiple jobs to make ends meet, that did not have the best of clothing? They did not eat the best food, that did not have the best comforts of life to make sure you were good. And at that time, it seemed like we had more respect in our community than what we do today. Put on your big girl panties and do it. I get it. It sucks. But maybe, just maybe, Dr. Seuss, just maybe you wouldn't be going through this had you have made the right life decisions. These are choices. I remember when I was younger in middle school, when I was in church, I didn't pay much attention in church because I didn't really like going to church, but I had to go anyway because your parents tell you what to do. They control you because it is what's best for you. You don't know what's best for you as a child. But I remember being in middle school and I remember the pastor teaching about choices. And he talked about how every decision you make in life is your choice. And every choice you make has an outcome, cause and effect. It could be good, it could be bad, but keep in mind, you are the one who made that decision. That was your choice. So if things are great, take a bow. You did that. You made the right decision. But if things are bad, take a bow. You did that. You make the right decision. It's on you. Don't blame God. Don't blame your parents. It's all on you. It's not the white man. It's you. And I doubt in any way, shape, or form that this girl was raped, molested, or anything else along those lines. You laid down and you made that baby on purpose. And now you have to go through. It is what it is. It sucks. I get it. But learn from it. And hopefully in your learning, you will never do this again. And hopefully protect your children. Teach them the right way. Say, don't be like me. Be better than me. Make better decisions in life.
A situation that's unnecessary.
Okay, ma'am.
Very.
Okay, ma'am. First of all,
I'm
the
sorry.
court date is July the 8th.
I understand that, but I'm saying initially.
I hurt that she's hurting. I'm sorry. I hate that she's hurting and I hate that she's crying. I hate that she's going through, but the truth be told, it's self-inflicted.
I had to do that. Now I'm having to take him again somewhere to get tested, and he's not in his mind. He knows, mommy, I'm not sick. What's going on with me? You can't explain to the child. You have to go get tested for DNA.
And how old is your son?
He just turned 5.
You do not have to tell him that he has to get tested for DNA. You can finagle it however you want to finagle it without lying to your child. He's a child. You ain't got to tell him every day. Would you owe him something? He's a child. That's the problem. We too busy trying to be our children's friends. He's a child. You tell him whatever you want to tell him. You don't have to lie. But you can still say something like I said earlier. This is for family. We're learning our DNA. You are learning because you don't know. You don't know. We have to see what the DNA says. We are learning our DNA. So the whole family's going to do it. Mommy's going to do it. Daddy's going to do it. And, you're going to do it. Voluntary or involuntary, you're going to do it. Now, I don't come from a place where we talk a bunch to our child. All mine is grown men now. So I'm not a young buck.
And do you think his dad called him? No, he didn't.
Okay, ma'am, please don't interrupt me. Let me address your frustration. Your son's 5. Okay? At 5 years old, you can pretty much just say, hey, we're just doing something. He's not going to the doctor. Okay? They're just going to do the
She's
DNA
making it worse
swab
than what
testing
it
again.
is.
Okay? Or whatever.
She's making it worse than what it is. Now I'm wondering now, what other crap are you up to that's got this man trying to stay as far away from you as possible? I don't know. I'm just simply saying I think you're blowing this out of proportion. You're turning an anthill into a mountain.
Testing they do. It'll be quick. It'll be done. It'll be finished. Okay, man? Do you understand? I'm trying to resolve this.
What grown-ups do this? Look at this. What grown-ups do this? This looked like when one of my children was 10 years old. This kind of behavior they would act like. And it was then that I nipped it in the bud to say, we don't do this. Put your hands down. Look at me. You train up a child. You don't just, you got to raise kids. You don't just watch them until they grow up and get out your house. You have to raise them, showing them how to behave at home and in public. This is unacceptable behavior. Showing how to harness her emotions. This is ridiculous.
I cannot resolve it on evidence that is not reliable. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. If he comes back positive, that issue of paternity goes away. He's dad, end of story. We move on, we finish. I am going to finish this case. Do we understand, Mr. Bernard?
Yes.
Okay. And if the right thing turns out to be that Mr. Thigpen is not the father, then Mr. Thigpen, the right result is that Mr. Thigpen is not the father. If that's what the test shows, a reliable test. Do you understand, Ms. Bernard?
Yes.
Okay. And I know those words are hard for you to hear when you have testified and said there is no way that anyone else can be the father but Xavier Thigpen. I get how hard that is for you. But ma'am, that is simply your word against his.
Yes.
And so I need, with the test results, I eliminate that problem. I forever eliminate that problem. But I will tell you, had that test result come back from Mississippi and the results said negative and his picture was there and it appeared that he went and showed up, then we got a whole different problem of you saying that's not valid, can't be valid. That doesn't mean we couldn't have had another test. But with the picture not even matching up, it made it easy for me to order a test, but a test here in Matagorda County. I don't want any funny business going on. I don't want any confusion going on. I want it clear and I want it done. And I want it done right.
She should want the same
Ms.
thing.
Bernard? So do you understand my ruling?
Yes.
Mr. Thigpen, do you understand what I've ordered?
Yes, sir. I understand your order, but remember, you had told me in the last session, if, which I already knew how the test was going to come back, but if it would have came back positive, I was going to be responsible to pay it. Since I would have to be traveling down there on my own expense, I would ask that I would not have to be funded for that, even though I already know how it's going to go. But I just wanted to get this put behind me.
Well, I'm not sure what you're saying, Mr. Thigpen.
I don't want to have to pay for a second test.
Yeah, he don't want to pay for it. That's what I was just saying about her. I hope she doesn't have to be financially responsible for it, because it's just going to add another stress on her. I mean, to a degree, she has to be. Everybody has to be, because you have to travel there. That's gas. That's wear and tear on your car. Maybe even having to take off from work. So something's going to come out your pocket. What, I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know who's going to absorb the cost for this.
You already told me I had to pay for that one.
Well, all I know is I'm ordering you to come down and submit to the test. If it comes back with a positive result, Mr. Thigpen, then I got to determine whether or not you should have to pay it. If it comes back with a negative result, then I have to determine whether or not you should have to pay it. Obviously, I cannot give you a preview of the ruling, but you can kind of guess. It's going to depend on what those results say. That's going to have a lot to do with what I think would be fair as to who should have to pay for it. Right. Okay, so I know.
Yeah. I'm good.
I understand. I'm ordering you to come down here, but remember, you're the one that requested the test, so I'm giving you what you want. I just got to make it reliable. And by your own testimony, you've agreed, oh, that's not me. Well, that's not a reliable result, right?
Righteous. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so, all right, so you are agreeing.
If he lied and if he had his brother go there for him, like how she's trying to say that he finagled in some way, shape, or form, man, he dug his own ditch. I hope justice is served. And not only that, but I thank God that the law is already in place that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. The world likes to call it karma. It's gonna happen. So whoever's lying, someone's lying, they're gonna get their comeuppance. They will. You don't have to see it. You don't have to be evil. You don't have to see it. They're gonna get it.
Then to be down here July 8th, 9 o'clock a.m. for an in-person hearing so that you can submit to the paternity test, right?
Yes. Or yes, I should be available that day. Yes.
Okay, well,
I'm
make sure you are, because Mr. Thigpen,
Yeah, make
well,
sure.
I'm not in my office right now, so I don't have my other planner. I only have this one, and
I
I'm prepared to be
understand.
available.
I understand. But Mr. Thigpen, understand this. July 8th,
I'm sorry. She is acting like a 10-year-old right now. Look how she laid back. She in court right now. Yes, it's Zoom, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still court. Look at this. That's how the 10-year-old acts. Not good, man. Not good.
is almost 2 months away. And I'm doing this per your request. I'm doing it per your request. Okay. So I'm
Yes, sir.
trying to accommodate you, but I can only accommodate so far. And here's what I'm giving you a fair warning. On July 8th, this case is set. All right. And on that date, my hope is that all y'all do is come that day and submit to the testing. Then the rest of this thing can be finished out by Zoom. Okay. That's
Yes,
the way
sir.
I look at it. Is that correct, Ms. Lee?
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
Right. I only need you here, and I need Miss Bernard here and the child here because I want to get a reliable test result. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's why I'm ordering you to come, and you've agreed on the record to show up that day. Okay. So if you don't come, just make sure you understand this, Mr. Thigpen. If you don't show up on July 8th,
You're the pappy.
we may well proceed with this case and finish this case, including naming you the father, because we have an AOP. Okay. And if you don't show
I've
up for your
already
chance to
signed
do
it.
this test, we may well on July 8th proceed with this hearing, name you the father, set current child support, set retro child support, set current medical, and set all of that. Okay, we may well go forward with all of that information, with all of that results. And so I need you to make sure you understand how serious it is that this case will move forward on July 8th. And my hope is that we get the test results done so that that paternity issue is forever gone, one way or the other. But we are moving forward on July 8th if you don't show up. You understand, Mr. Thigpen?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Okay. All right. So make sure you make your arrangements with your boss and get it done. And we'll all be here on July the 8th. Is there anything else, Miss Lee?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
This
Okay.
cause number is 24 Frank 0284, correct?
This is cause number, I'll repeat it again. I think you said it right, but it's 24-F as in Frank, 24-F 0284.
All right, I appreciate it.
That is the cause number, and I'm going to give you the OAG number, the case ID number with the Attorney General. It is 0014367785. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you're listed as a non-custodial parent, Xavier James Thigpen, and the custodial parent is listed as Sierra Nicole Bernard. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's eliminate all the mystery. Let's get this done. Y'all are now ordered to come back on July the 8th. Y'all are ordered to appear in court that day. We're proceeding with or without y'all on that day. And that is my ruling. And I do believe my ruling is in the best interest of the child. And I do have jurisdiction on this case. So is there anything else, Ms. Lee?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Are you going to circulate an order?
Yes, Judge, I will send that over to the parties right now.
Okay, are you gonna send it right now?
Yes,
Here's
I
here's
can
what I'm
send
asking, do you want me to do an entry date?
I can get the party to sign right now.
Yeah, Judge, I'm asking, can we do an entry date? Because I'm like 10 minutes away from the office. That way I can go ahead and confirm that date.
Okay, here's gonna be the entry date. Well, that date is gonna happen, Mr. Thigpen, July the 8th. So you gotta tell them you gotta be there.
Yeah.
Okay, July 8th, 2025, 9 o'clock AM in Matagorda County. I'm gonna
Okay.
set this for an entry date of this order for 1 week from today, which would be May the 20th. Now, let me explain what that means. Miss Lee will circulate an order to y'all and ask y'all to sign off on it. Basically, taking what I've just ordered, putting it in writing, and circulating it for y'all to sign, for her to sign, all by DocuSign, and get it back to me for me to sign. If by May 20th, 2025, y'all have not signed the order, she's going to send it to me anyway, and I'm going to sign it. So I'm rendering that order today. So it's legally binding today. Okay? But I'm giving y'all an opportunity to read it, see it in writing. The confusion might be that I told him, well, I'm going forward with or without you on that day. He asked for this test.
Yes.
We're giving him the opportunity to do the test, an unflawed test. If he doesn't show up, I've already instructed Mr. Thigpen that I can and will move forward on that day. It will be the last hearing then. Do you understand, Ms. Bernard?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Right. I'm going to hold his feet to the fire, and yours too. I expect y'all to show up to do the test. If y'all don't, we're going to go forward anyway because it's set for that day. But if we get the test done that day, we won't have the results that day. So we can't go forth with the rest of the case till we get the results. When we get the results, then we can come back for a final hearing, either by Zoom or in person. By Zoom is really for Mr. Thigpen's convenience more than yours because you just got to drive over from the school over to the courthouse. Mr. Thigpen's going to have to come all the way from Mississippi back here for another hearing if we do it in person. If everybody cooperates on July the 8th and we get the test done that day, I'm not worried about having to put it on an in-person if everybody's being civil and cooperate. Okay? You understand?
Can I say this one last thing? In no disrespectful way, you have told me multiple times that you were putting, quote unquote, the fire under his foot for this stuff to get handled, right? You're the one that told me that we needed to have this DNA test so that it could be nipped in the bud. And I agreed to that. I understood where you were coming from. I had no issue with it. He wanted this DNA test. We were supposed to have a court date in April. He couldn't do April because he had trial, so we had to move it again. Now we're in a situation where he's telling us that he went and took this DNA test. And now the DNA test results are not correct. It's not even his DNA results. The issue with this is, if I'm not mistaken, he has a relative that works at a place like this, which is who I am thinking is in that picture. This is so unnecessary. And it's like he is constantly.
I thought you said that that's his brother. Now it's just a relative that you think? I thought you said that's his older brother. What's going on?
Being okay to get away with this stuff. And I think that somebody that works within the criminal justice system should have consequences for submitting a false DNA test. This is
For
a
the record, my
situation
brother do
that
not
deals
work down
with.
there.
Hold on.
Like this.
Wait.
This is a
I want
situation.
to address.
You're not supposed to be able to talk while someone else is talking. Xavier's wrong and he needs to get in trouble for this.
One person at a time, Mr.
I have an
Thigpen.
objection. She testifying to some nonsense stuff that is irrelevant.
You can object as much as you want, but the judge has to say if whether or not we're going to go on with this objection. You don't just go ahead and butt in and shut. Oh, Xavier's got something going on with him. That's why she crying. You girl, you picked the wrong baby daddy.
And very far left field.
So, Judge, it's okay. You can end it. It's okay.
All right,
I don't have anything else to say.
Ms. Bernard, let me address what you just said. So please don't interrupt me. And Mr. Thigpen, don't interrupt me. What Ms. Bernard said, I'm going to address it because we addressed before, but very short. I'm going to keep it short. It's simple enough. I don't want paternity to keep coming up as an issue in y'all's lives with this little boy. The best way to avoid that is paternity testing. That was why I suggested it and said it last time, and that still applies today. I don't want him to look at that little boy and say, I'm really not your father. That would only hurt the little boy, wouldn't it, Ms. Bernard?
Doesn't even see him to say that.
Okay, hold on, Ms. Bernard. Ms. Bernard, you're not listening to my question. I'm saying, do you understand why I want to eliminate the issue once and for all? I'm not saying he's a good man. I'm not saying he's a bad man. I'm not saying he's tried to see it. I'm not saying he hadn't tried to see it. I'm not ruling on that. I'm saying that I don't want this boy to get hurt, and I'm here to protect the young man. I'm here for the best interest of the child. And I believe it's in the child's best interest for us to get as much as possible, a positive test result. When I say positive, I mean a final test result, one way or the other. I know you believe certain things. I get it. And I know Mr. Thigpen believes certain things. I get it. That doesn't change the fact that this test result gets rid of a very serious issue that could be harmful to this young man later in life. That is why we're doing it. That was back when I told you before. It's still today. Second point is that if Mr. Thigpen is merely trying to stall so that he does not have to start providing support, the Attorney General will be submitting to me, if he's the father, if he is the father, they will be submitting to me requests for current child support, current cash medical, and quite possibly back child support and back cash medical. That is what they are allowed to do in their job. So if it is a ploy by Mr. Thigpen to simply get away with that and not have to start paying, I'm trying to tell you, ma'am, there is a way to get around that, to defeat that.
Look at her face right now. Look at her face. That is not how adults behave. Children that still needs rearing act like that. I get it, chick. I get it. You upset. I totally do. But you need to learn how to harness your emotions. No one said you had to agree with it, but you need to know how to harness them. There's a time and place for everything.
Ploy. Do you understand, Ms. Bernard?
I understand.
Okay. So through all this stalling and everything else, if that's what's going on, it's not going to work. Okay? It's not going to work. We're going to stick with it. We're going to get those test results. We're going to get them where we can rely upon the test results. So we've now ordered it to be done here in Matagorda County at the courthouse. Once we have those results, we know where we are. That puts that issue forever to rest. And then I'm simply saying, all right, Attorney General is going to present their evidence with regards to the finances. And at that point, if I need to rule on visitation and custody and all that, I will. I will. And it'll depend on the evidence that's presented when we put that evidence on. But I'm not going to go into that evidence right now while there's still the issue of whether or not he's the father. First, we have to determine that. Do you understand, Ms. Bernard?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm neither accepting what you said or rejecting what you said. Just like I'm neither accepting what Mr. Thigpen said or rejecting what he said. I'm not ruling on that at this point. We don't have to. Okay? At this point, we're simply trying to move ahead and accomplish the goals that I've laid out. Okay? Which is to determine paternity. And then from there, because it's like a Y in the road, and we got to decide which way it's going. He's either daddy, and then we deal with child support, current and past, cash medical, current and past, visitation, all that, we deal with it. Or he's not daddy. And if he's not daddy, he's out. And then we don't have to deal with any of that. Do you understand, Ms. Bernard?
Yes.
Okay, so let's not try the case without, unless we have to, and we'll see where we go. All right, any other questions, Ms. Bernard?
No.
Okay. Mr. Thigpen, do you have any other questions?
No, can you provide me the court phone number? That'll be it. That's all I need.
Ms. Lee will provide you a number for you to contact their office. Is that correct, Ms. Lee?
Yes, Judge, I can do that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if you're asking for my phone number, Ms.
All right.
Okay, I can't give you my phone number, not you or Ms. Bernard, but y'all can contact Ms. Lee, and y'all can contact the district clerk in Matagorda County. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and excuse y'all. We're going to go off the record, and y'all stick around with Ms. Lee so that she can try to get this order to y'all. And Ms. Lee, when you let them go, that's when you let them go. Okay?
And there you have it. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? Leave it in the comment section below. But we make these decisions, man. These decisions that we don't realize is going to bite us in the butt later on in life. I feel sorry for all of them involved. I really do. The baby, who clearly doesn't have a good relationship with his father because she said that he doesn't see the child. So if he doesn't see the child, that means the child is no longer does not have a father. I mean, you can have an uncle, a grandfather. All those things are nice as placeholders, but that's not the child's father. And so the child is missing out. And then he does not get a chance to like really give his heart wholly because he's not sure if it's his baby. And then she's stuck with having to deal with whatever the child is missing and all that. It's just ugly all the way around. It just is. And things like this, we don't sit around and judge it to make fun of anybody. If anything, we look at it and we make the right decision to say, I'm gonna make better decisions in my life. I'm not gonna be the next statistics that's like this, the next statistic. Because people are dealing with this in real life. And it doesn't have to be you. And if it has been you, hopefully it'll never be you again because you learn from it. But I hope you guys have a good one. Thank you for watching television with me, and make good decisions. Take care. Bye-bye.
Whatever. I do what I want.
Oh, he's such a cutie.